What a game. After game one, big man, coming to you live right here at SBR Sports Picks, SBRodds.com, powered by uwager.eu. We wanted to come back on and break down this first game that just got over between South Carolina and Gonzaga, 77-73. We came on at the half, big man, discussed some topics, what we think would happen. I myself gave out South Carolina +1. That one came in, as well as the under 76.5, which we both thought would slow down a bit in the second half. It did. Your thoughts on that, big man? And again, Zaga on to the final.
Well, yeah, and I want to say, congrats to them because we've been high on them all year. Look, they fought back. I mean, they kind of took advantage right away in the second half, take a nice lead. I think they were up 14. Mm-hmm. Then South Carolina goes on a 14-0 run, cuts the deficit, ties it. They actually go up 2. At that point, I don't know if you noticed, but Gonzaga looked lost. They didn't know what hit them. And give a lot of credit to them because, and I'm going to get to it in a minute, the biggest issue in this game coming up with a big rant, so I hope people are ready for it. But listen, this is what this team does. They're experienced. They don't fold under pressure. You look at Karnowski. I mean, he was in foul trouble. Zach Collins was in foul trouble. Perkins fouled out. And look, South Carolina just didn't go away. But I think that game against West Virginia, Donnie, really helped Gonzaga.
No, it really did. If you saw me tweet out there, I mean, this was almost an exact carbon copy. Gonzaga had an 8-point lead with about 12 or 13 minutes to go versus West Virginia. That slowly went away into a game where they were actually losing, similar to the one with South Carolina, where they were trailing by 2 points there. But that's the heart of a champion. That's having a great coach. It's having a team that's built for this tournament style here. It's a great win. They don't get the overall cover in the game, but, moving on to the championship game, which is what both me and you, big man, wanted to see. So we certainly can have some fun and continue to watch Gonzaga, see what happens next.
Right. Yeah, I'm sitting on a pretty heavy future on Gonzaga. So obviously this is where I wanted it to be. And now we just got one more. But, Donnie, we have to talk about the refereeing in this game. The refereeing in this game was disgraceful. It was disgusting. It was unfair. It was unjust. And it's deplorable that the NCAA continues to put John Higgins on a court. It's pathetic.
And how about how it winds down, too? It was 18 fouls for Gonzaga, 10 for South Carolina. A play went to the rim. It was a bang-bang play, and Frank Martin gets up like somebody stole his lunch money, like they haven't gotten a call all game, when routinely one side of the court driving to the basket, contact, no call. The other side got it all handled. Great win, great composure by Gonzaga. Big men in foul trouble the entire game there. They held on at the end, so, credit to them. But I agree with you. If you're going to call it both ways and ruin the game, just go ahead and ruin the game. But you can't just call it one way on that.
South Carolina was in the double bonus with 9 minutes to go. I mean,
and not even really? Big man, not even the MO. I mean, what's the MO of these two teams? South Carolina is known to foul. Gonzaga is known not to foul. Somehow correct. Gonzaga gets 25 fouls.
It makes no sense. That's my point here, and that just goes to show you of the inability of these officials to call a game the right way. Stats don't lie, Donnie. We all know that. Gonzaga fouls 16 times a game, 45th in the country. South Carolina, 293rd. Yet they call 21 fouls against Gonzaga. Now, look, they won the game, Gonzaga. It's the problem of the inconsistency and making this tournament unwatchable. I mean, what is Karnowski supposed to do on his fourth foul? Can you explain it? What is he supposed to do there? Is he supposed to just waltz out of the way and let him score? He's straight up. What are you supposed to do there?
You saw Silva. Silva gets that call all the time. I mean, Silva will literally meet you in midair full speed, and there was no calls there. And how about a key part of the game, Jeff? Let's go about, what was it, maybe under 3 minutes to go. Zach Collins puts a move on down low on Thornwell, who he outweighs by probably 50 pounds and, 7 inches. And they call an offensive foul on that when it was just common contact.
It has to stop. It's getting to the point where, for me, it's hard to watch this stuff anymore. It's hard to, it's just, it sucks. It's not fun. You don't know what a foul is and what isn't. You don't know, that lowering the shoulder stuff is just, he didn't even lower his shoulder. It's a flop. No other two way about it. I don't know, what you're supposed to do if your hands are straight up. What are you supposed to do there?
No, it's got to get cleaned up. I mean, the one interesting thing about that game, again, 77-73, we thought it would slow down the second half, ends up with a total of 150 points when I know early on some of those live wagering, if you could get in there, was like, 163, 164. So it didn't quite get to that number. It slowed down like we thought it would. But, just give me a clean battle. If it's a clear foul, I mean, we all know what a clear foul is. Same thing when you watch the NFL. You know when it's pass interference. You know when it's a holding call. In this type of environment, just let them play unless it's, literally like making a basket or not. I mean, how many times, even let's go to the last minute of the game. I believe it was Nigel Williams-Goss was under the rim, got a rebound where they were only up 3 points. And damn near 4 people from South Carolina were raking at him. And I literally thought they were going to call a traveling call on him because he was just trying to get away from it. You can't pick and choose as refereeing. I just wish they would come in and be a little bit cleaner. But again, Jeff, we've been talking about this the whole tournament, man.
And that's the problem I have, Donnie. It's not getting better. It's not evening out. It's not getting to the point where it's more consistent. I understand. Look, if they're bad both ways, they're bad both ways. But don't be one way the whole time. Zach Collins, though, Donnie, we have to talk about. I mean, I hope he stays another year. This kid is really good in a really short amount of time. I mean, not only great offensively, but you look at today, 14 points, 13 rebounds, 6 blocks. I mean, just fantastic. I mean, really fantastic.
No, we've talked about him all year long. The initial thought at the beginning of the season, if Karnowski wasn't even back this year, Collins probably would be a first-team All-American, especially with the team that Gonzaga has and much more time that he would actually get on the court. But it actually served him well. I mean, you get to be refreshed during the game. You get to come in and assert yourself there. It's a big win there. And it's going to eat, regardless of what team gets in the finals here, whether it's Oregon or Carolina, we're going to have a fun up-and-down court because Gonzaga's going to push the pace, and so is either Carolina or Oregon. So got what I wanted as a viewer there. I was just really happy to see Gonzaga pull this one out and get that dub.
Yeah, agreed. And, I'm happy to have South Carolina out of this tournament. They, to me, were just a fly that just never went away. Cinderella slipper fell off. See you later.
Same thing for them. I mean, give them credit, though. I mean, they love to be down damn near double digits heading into the second half, and they always put up a fight. I mean, so kudos to them, for even coming back and taking the lead, because this wasn't one of those games, Jeff, where they came out in the second half in the first couple minutes and erased that lead. The lead actually went the other way. And at one point, was it 16-0 run? Maybe a little bit more than that South Carolina had. So respect to them for coming back in that one.
Yeah, they took the lead in the second half. And, like I said, Gonzaga didn't really know what hit them. I mean, really. South Carolina fought. They were right there. But, again, that's, to me, Gonzaga basketball at the end of the game. Most people wouldn't have fouled there. Most coaches. The game plan was perfect. Fouled right at the perfect amount of time. We're able to rebound the basketball. About that. I know you're talking about the foul that way. How about the non-foul for South Carolina when they just basically ran it down to about maybe 7 or 8 seconds difference there? And the fact is, I actually don't agree with that. If it was a double bonus situation, I probably would agree with Frank Martin. But in a 1-on-1 situation, I'm going to try to extend the game, because if there's 37 or 38 seconds left and you foul and he misses the front end, you're going to have 2 possessions to probably get this one back. I didn't agree with that for the simple fact that it was a 1-on-1 and not a double bonus there. Any thoughts on that? Well, look, I mean, the fact that they weren't even in the bonus at that point was pretty pathetic. I mean, it was gross, really. But yeah, I don't, not particularly. I do want to point out, Donnie, one thing.
Yeah.
Really late in the game, the Josh Perkins, I think it was, went out of bounds, or maybe it was somebody went out of bounds, was pretty much thrown out of bounds.
No, it wasn't thrown, Jeff. Launched out of bounds.
I mean, and nothing's called there. I was surprised you didn't see I was saying, where's the whistle? Where's the whistle? No whistle. I mean,
it was clear. It was a clear. And again, it's one of those things where if you're calling the fouls in the game, where you're calling everything ticky-tack, that's an easy foul call. If you were letting them play and that happened, I mean, I could see, but you can't. Again, I don't care. You can call 50 million fouls as long as you do it both ways, and we're all going to get mad, but at least you can say, you know what, they're being fair. I just don't like when it gets a little bit out of even. But again, it always gets back to the point, Jeff, we talk about it all year, especially in the tournament. Something has to give. I mean, let the kids play. This Oregon-North Carolina game is going to be great the way it's shaping up. Let them play. Don't foul it. Don't foul Kennedy Meeks out with 3 fouls in 10 minutes or anybody else.
Yeah, one other thing I wanted to ask you, Donnie, before we kind of wrap everything up here. We didn't get to talk about it just because we weren't on the air and everything, but last night in that Mississippi State UConn game,
Yes.
what on earth were they doing late in the game, not taking that game down to 3-4 seconds and taking the final shot? Why on earth are you shooting with 12 seconds left in the shot clock?
See, I'm on the opposite side of that.
Why?
I see it too much. I would rather start an offensive set with 13 seconds to go on the clock and get a good look. Now, they didn't get a good look. It probably should have been a charge call. But why would you? What's wrong with what half the things I bitch about on here is what's the point of running it down to 2 seconds and taking a one-legged 36-foot three,
yeah,
which is what they always settle for.
But again, it's UConn. It's likely they'll get a decent shot. You at least have to take it down to 7 seconds. But you gave them 12 seconds. I don't get that personally, and ultimately it was the undoing of UConn. But yeah. Donnie, if I would have told you that, obviously we didn't expect them to lose, but going into overtime they would lose. I mean, I thought once it got to overtime, it was kind of dead. Shot buried, but
because it's a similar situation when Mississippi State gets the ball to end the first half and misses. You sort of felt like the air come out, and they knew it as well. But for some reason, UConn just couldn't hit a shot even in that overtime, and they even got bailed out on a bad flagrant call where they got 2 free throws and the ball back and still couldn't capitalize. Yeah, amazing basketball nonetheless. But it's just a gripe I have about this officiating. It just makes it really hard to watch. Based on the score of the first game, you think there's good value in the over in the second game? You know what, man? I'm going to just watch it as a fan, enjoy the game. I've had a bad week with my premium plays. Last week of basketball has been tough here, but I'm going to take my profit that I've made over the last couple of months and just walk away. I got at least one more shotgun blast coming in the second game, which I'm happy about. If you look at some of the odds that are coming in here, checking out with SBRodds.com. Pinnacle -4, 5 dimes -4.5. You're getting, split between -4 and -4.5. And the interesting about that, looks like more -4s are showing up, and the public is hammering North Carolina. 59% of the tickets and 63% of the money. And that Oregon line, which was about 5 yesterday, is now down to 4 today. So that's going to be an interesting decision. But again, no surprise there, because a lot of the betting public is going to feed off the first game. So they're going to look and say, oh, boy, look at South Carolina. They hung with Gonzaga and almost beat them. So therefore, in game 2, you're going to have that same correlation as well, saying, why not just take the points and pray? Which, again, in the tournament's not ever a bad idea to do that if that's just the way you lean.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's March Madness. I mean, and it's late March Madness. Taking the points at this stage of the game is never a bad thing. Don, before we wrap it up here, I do want to shout out all the listeners. I mean, always chiming in and getting on here. It's fun to kind of just do these spontaneous shows. I know, people kind of want picks and things like that, but it's just fun kind of recapping the game and everything. Really quick, I will have my eye on tonight, Portland in the NBA. Suns are terrible. Lost 10 in a row. Portland's really playing some good basketball right now. They're live for the playoffs. I'm going to look to Portland late. Looks like people are betting the Suns for some reason. And this Suns team is just lost right now. I'm going to be looking to grab Portland probably if I can get 11. I'm going to look for that. If you had Gonzaga, if you followed us all year, we've mentioned Gonzaga. I've slammed it. Donnie, haven't I been a fucking proponent of Gonzaga? We've all been.
We have since the very first round table when we all got together. We've been tooting that Gonzaga horn. It's just good to see them there because they deserve to be here. And I know I even had a couple people going back and forth on Twitter saying, everybody's got that locked and loaded on their Twitter saying, we thought Gonzaga was a fraud and now they're a fraud. They've had that queued up now for 5 or 6 games.
And it's not been
and it's not. And what are you going to say when they lose in the final? They were a fraud?
Yeah, it's not. It's gone. That's dead and buried. You can't bring it up anymore. But it's going to be a great final game nonetheless, whether it's Oregon or it's UNC. I'm looking forward to it. But as far as that's concerned, Donnie, anything else you're looking at?
No. We're going to have a good time watching this game. I'll be going back and forth on Twitter as well, and certainly cheering for one side in this game. But we do want to thank everybody back there at headquarters partying today at SBR and down there in Costa Rica. So shout out to you guys there in the room, relaxing, drinking, having your sandwiches, pizza, whatever we're eating there at SBR Sports Picks, SBRodds.com, powered by uwager.eu throughout the tournament. Big man, leave them with something before we get out of here.
Yeah, final thought. It's going to be Portland for me tonight. I'm going to look for them late night. As far as for me, someone's asking Matthew about any final thoughts on Oregon NC. Not particularly. Oregon. Okay, Donnie's saying Oregon. Yeah, I'm going to watch it as a fan. If you gave me a free bet, I would go with the Tar Heels here, but that's just me. I know Donnie has a play on the game, so I'll root him in. Okay, Donnie, thank you. All right, guys, we'll be back Monday. We have the roundtable with all the guys. We'll be talking, recapping the year and previewing the title game, which will be fun, Donnie, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Put a bow on the season, have one last chat with the guys there. I mean, fantastic guys on that crew, so we'll have a lot of fun. People out there, enjoy the second game. Hope you cash some tickets, baby. Drew Martin down in Costa Rica.
How about that?
That's big time, man.
How about that? All right, guys. Well, enjoy the game, and we will see you Monday on the roundtable. Have a great night.
Oregon.